Shabbat Shalom and welcome to everyone who's joined us this evening in person and online. Merry Christmas to all of our Christian friends who are out there. We're delighted to be here for Shabbat prayer and Shabbat services. And we welcome Donna Weingarten to help us with kindling our Ner Shel Shabbat as we rise, page 2 in our prayer book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
Amen. Wish you strength, Donna, and you may be seated. You know, Shabbat is a gift. Our day of rest, our day of joy, our day of delight. A day to let our worries and concerns go as we release ourselves of our burdens. And breathing deeply helps us to release ourselves, to let all of our challenges, all of our goals and objectives, all of our thoughts which preoccupy us go, and to carve out a space and time. And yet, in merely the act of breathing, there's something deeply profound about the truth that we can only breathe in if we first let go, if we first exhale. Most of the time that we breathe, we're not even aware of this fact. In fact, we may not even be aware that we're breathing at all. But Shabbat is a time of connecting more deeply with our consciousness, with the world within us. And so I want to ask us all to find a way to make ourselves just a little bit more comfortable in our chairs. If that means closing your eyes, close your eyes. If that means slouching a little bit, let yourself slouch a little bit. If that means lifting your legs, placing them more comfortably on the floor, lift your legs and reposition them. You can even put your hands on your stomach if that's comfortable, nice and low, by your diaphragm to feel your stomach rise and fall as you breathe deeply. We're going to take 6 slow, deep breaths out through your mouth and in through your nose as we think about our week, thinking about each day, where we were, what we did, what filled it. Go ahead and breathe out and breathe in. Think back to the end of last Shabbat, Saturday night, where this week began. And let it go. Sunday, out and in. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And one more time, a deep breath out and in. Shabbat. We continue welcoming the Shabbat. Shabbat Amalka, page 10 in our books.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei HaShalom. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come gather to welcome the Sabbath, our Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her the angels of peace and of rest. Draw near, and hear, Rabbi. Draw near, O Sabbath bride. Peace also to you, you angel of peace.
We continue with Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Shamor bezachor bediבור echad, Ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, Leshem tiferet belitfila, Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'oret kumi ori, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai alaif nigla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela.
We rise to turn to greet the bride.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela.
We continue. You may be seated, page 26, the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל.
Bagala, bagala, ובזמן קריב,
ואמרו אמן. יהי
שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולם מעלמיה,
יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו amen.
We rise with our supplemental sheets, Am I Awake?
Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai. We continue together in the middle of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Torah
seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך וישערך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Through our faith, we learn to trust that there is an ultimate redemption to come, a moment when we'll be able to join together and express our appreciation for the eternal source of life that provides for us all. We continue on our supplemental sheets with Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נהדר בקודש נורא תהילה עושה פלא Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh.
We dream for peace and comfort and protection as we continue with our Jewish lullaby, the Hashkivenu prayer, also on your supplement.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom shelter of your peace over
rise as we enter into the Amidah, the standing prayer, page 46.
Adonai, Sifatai Tifta, Ufi Agite Hilatecha, Adonai, Sifatai Tifta, Ufi Agite Hilatecha, Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, Sifatai Titach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai Titach, Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rab lehoshia, Mahashiv haruach morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofech oholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua,
V'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Continue with Shalom Rav, page 60. You may be seated.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam.
pause for a moment of quiet meditation and reflection.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
At this moment in our service, we pause to think of and consider all of those in our own circles of concern, family, friends, members of our community, colleagues, those who are in need of healing. And as we do this at this congregation, we mention all of those individuals that have been shared with us for healing. We open ourselves up, even if we don't have the intention of personally participating in this prayer through a name we're thinking of for healing, to feeling the presence of all of these individuals here with us, seeing their faces, hearing their stories and their concerns, as we look to bind our prayers together in the hope that they can bring that healing that is so much needed to our world. This Shabbat, we as a congregation are thinking of Marina Apsey, Yasmin Aftab, Trudy Becker, Dodie Bloomstein, Sandy Feldman, Susan Green, Barbara Greenberg, Stan Greenberg, Steve Gross, Bill Hellman, Trudy Harrington, Judy Hawker, Asher Houghton, Ginger Houghton, Tom Houston, Mark Joseph, Dana Katz, Lindsay Katz, Sally Keaton, Guy LaFleur, Suzanne Levin, Ron Loeb, Gary Marcus, Rob Maynard, Caleb Moses, Sidney Moss, Manush Movsesian, Marguerite, Jim Marks, Don Nitskin, Chuck Norris, David Rader, Tony Ricolta, George Ricolta, Meryl Rosenberg, Sienna Shapiro, Stuart Trosch, Lauren Weiss, and Peter Wolf. If there's anyone those with us this Shabbat would like to add, please feel free to do so at this time. For Stuart. For all those mentioned and the many more that remain unmentioned, we pray for Refuah Shlema, full and complete healing, as we continue with the Misha Berach prayer, page 253.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us sing. Amen.
poem by Alden Slovey. These tears are too close to my eyes, ready to burst forth for the sorrow that surrounds us. These tears are too close to my heart, ready to burst forth for the pain that surrounds us. These tears are too close to my soul, ready to burst forth for the heartbreak that surrounds us. And God responds, "It is I who comforts you, and great shall be your children's peace." How many of us know the feeling of tears suppressed, the tension that builds inside? How many of us know the fear of vulnerability that restrains those tears close to our eyes, close to our heart, close to our soul? And the fear that the dam holding those tears back might burst forth at any moment. We know what it feels like when we're barely managing. The sense of being in the muck of it and simply trying to hang on, trying to hold ourselves together. Some of us have been desperate to hold on for an awful long time. Some of us know what it's like when each day simply putting one foot in front of the other is hard. But that too is a little miracle. As yet another new variant of this virus bears down upon us, we are exhausted. We are at our limit, but we are still strong, and we still are managing. I've been saying it since the beginning that we need to have faith that one day there will be an end to this. We will get through this together. As we begin a new book of Torah this week, the book of Exodus, Shmot, we encounter the first occurrence of the word suffering in the Bible, in a verse which describes Moses' first venture out of the palace into a world rife with injustice and misfortune. As he leaves the palace, we are told he went out to his brothers and saw them suffering, besivlotam. The Midrash expands, Moses saw heavy burdens put upon weak people and light burdens put upon strong people. So what did he do? He rearranged their burdens, and God noticed. God said to him, "You have shared the sorrow of Israel, behaving to them like a brother. I too will lead those on high and below to speak only with you." So much about this midrash reflects our present moment. Certainly we can appreciate how Moses was singled out for leadership because of the compassion he demonstrated. Yet what is most striking to me about Moses' understanding that much of the pain and anxiety we experience in our lives emerges when we're pushed beyond our capacity or from the misery of recognizing we are not living up to our potential. Rabbi Mendel Kelmanson writes, "Pain comes in different forms. There is physical torment of a strained body, an exhausted heart, an overworked mind, and there is existential agony of an aimless soul feeling underused and wasted." As we consider Rabbi Kalmanson's words, we might contemplate, how realistic are our expectations in this moment? What can we fairly expect of each other and of ourselves amid our heavy burdens? When others fail to live up to our expectations, how are we to perceive what has happened? Do we have compassion on them? Do we try to right-size their burdens as Moses did? Or do we blame them for their shortcomings and add to their misery? While many of us find the absence of worries and stress remote in our lives in this moment,
there is the possibility of inner gratification when our goals match our capacity, where our expectations are achievable and realistic. Here, Moses is our model as he personalizes the burdens each person carries and pushes every individual to fulfill their unique potential. For all that we have been through, we need not hold back the tears. These years have taken their toll. Many of us are indeed exhausted. But when we are aware we have reached our limit and are compassionate by telling each other and ourselves that we are doing our absolute best to control the things we can, we unburden ourselves collectively. This realization is truly a beautiful thing, that even though our eyes on occasion may be clouded with tears, we are cleansed and touch on something divine when we find purpose in comforting and supporting each other. Our concluding section of our service begins with a vision of precisely this, of what it would mean and could mean if we were able to join together and in one voice to acknowledge that eternal source of truth and health and peace that binds us together, and that when we do, we can bring about a better world, indeed the repair of our world in so many ways. And so we rise, page 282, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gdula le'otzer bereshit, shelo afsanu k'goyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim yimal, u'shchinatu zo, begovhei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet molkeinu efezulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashegota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
We join together the top of page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar
v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation who have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We as a congregation are acknowledging the recent passing of Lillian Jacobs, our member Dr. David Hennig, Hannah St. Juliana, Tate Meyer, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling, those 4 students killed sadly in the Oxford school shooting just a month ago, as well as Coralie Paul. We think as well of those whose yard sites occur this calendar week. They are Yetta Deitch, Harold Epstein, Joanne G. Katz, Joseph Lambert, Ethel Mandel, Rose Maroff, Frank Mirsky, Charlotte Morgenstein, Beatrice Pacernick, Alyssa Rosenfeld, Rolf Schickler, Rose Schreiber, Estelle Schwartz, Laura Yetta Sheldon, Esther Snyder, Jack M. Stone, Jackie Strauss, Charles Sabelsky, Morton Trotsky, Alexander Tucker, Harry Wolf, David Woods, and Ida Zuckerman. If there are others, those with us this Shabbat, if there are others with us this Shabbat who are thinking of someone that's not yet been mentioned, please feel free to add their name. Then, as is the custom here in this congregation, we rise in support and solidarity of all those in mourning and all those observing yard sites as we continue with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen.
Oseh
Shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
You may be seated as we turn to Simchas. Great joy here, great nachas to schlep here for the news that the 3rd granddaughter was born last evening to our Rabbi Emeritus and Lynn Roman on the evening of December 15th in New York City. Chloe Jules Roshkind is the daughter of Adam and Sarah. She arrived unexpectedly, but Mom and she are fine, and Lynn and Rabbi Roman are delighted. We welcome Sue Farber to share with us our announcements for this Shabbat.
Good evening, and thank you all of you who are here and who are not on the screen for joining us this evening. First of all, our TKA Chinese Food and Trivia Night has been postponed, January 22nd. Watch your weekly email for additional information. We will be having a New Year's Eve Shabbat service this coming Friday, December 31st, and that will begin at 5 p.m., an hour early, so that everyone can enjoy the holiday. Please join us on Friday, January 7th at 6, when TKA will honor the legacy of Debbie Friedman with a Shabbat dedicated to her music and teachings. We will also be bringing back our birthday and anniversary blessings in the first Friday service of every month, starting January 7th. If you have a birthday or an anniversary in the month of January, Please plan to attend to receive your special blessing. Get ready for our second Schmooze event and join us for a fun night out. On Saturday, January 8th, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we'll be having a wine tasting at the Wine Guy in Bloomfield Hills. The cost will be $40 per person, and this includes the wine tasting, light appetizers, and a good time. Lots of fun. RSVP please to Daniel in the temple office. Rabbi Brent and Jill Gutmann will be teaching classes through JLearn in the months of January and February. You can register to attend those classes on jlearn.online. Jill will be resuming her medical ethics discussions, and Rabbi Gutmann will be teaching a class called Engaging Israel, Foundations for a New Relationship, from the Hartman Institute curriculum. Note that these classes are not here at TKA, and there is a fee to register. Check your weekly email for more information. Thank you for joining us this evening in person and online. Shabbat Shalom.
We take a moment to appreciate everyone that contributed to tonight's service. First, Sue, we wish you strength and a good Shabbos and holiday and Happy New Year. We say shkoach to Josh, who was our stream team member tonight, bringing our service online to all of you on Facebook and YouTube. Shkoach to all of you who came tonight to make this a wonderful and meaningful service, to all of our staff at Temple that helps to make things run smoothly, and Janet, who, as usual, just leads a beautiful minyan here. It is such a pleasure to be together, and we get to have a little bit of Kiddush and Motzi, so I'm going to welcome up my girls, Daria and Sippy, who will help us with this. Page 2 in our prayer books, we rise.
Page 5.
Oh, page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinfilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher nitziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu bacharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava u'ratzon. Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
We'll go ahead and uncover the challah as we continue with Hamotzi.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
May be seated, our concluding song, Adon Olam.
Page 321. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra
Ve'et nasa v'chefso kol Azai melech shemo nikra Azai melech shemo nikra Ve'acharei kivlot hakol Levado yimloch Mochora Ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh Betul Chedli Beitzara Behunisi Umanosli Menad Kosi Beyom Ekra Menad Kosi Beyom Ekra Beyado Afkiruchi Ishan Be'ahira Be'imruchi Gebiati Adonai li velo ira Adonai li velo ira Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.